Good.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the West Basin Municipal Water District regular board meeting for August 25th, 2025. It is now 1:15. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Mr. General Manager, do we have a quorum?
Madam President, I'll read roll call. Director Tommy Fabai. Here. Director Desi Alvarez. Here. Director Scott Houston. Here. Director Don Deere.
Here.
President Gloria Gray.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Thank you, board members, for being here. Item 4 is public comment. Do we have anyone wishing to speak from the public?
Madam President, we did skip over the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sure did. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance. Director Houston, would you please lead us in the pledge? Thank you. Sorry.
For those who are able, please stand and put your right hand over your heart, and let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Director Houston, and thank you for not letting me miss something so important. So thank you very much. Now we will have public comment. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak?
Madam President, we have not received any requests for public comment prior to this meeting, though this meeting is being held both in person and virtually. If there's any member of the public that would like to speak under public comment, please indicate so by raising your virtual hand. And Madam President, I do not see any requests.
Thank you very much, and thank you for those who are with us virtually. We will now have presentations. Are there any presentations?
Staff has no presentations.
Thank you. Item 6, items too late to be agendized. Any items?
And staff has no items too late to be agendized.
And item 7, consent calendar. Their motion to consider, well, first of all, is there any item to be pulled from the consent calendar? Director Alvarez.
This is Don Deere. This is Don Deere. May I speak?
Yes,
I'd like to
please.
move the consent calendar in its entirety.
All right, we do have one request from Director Alvarez, I believe, regarding one
Yes.
item.
I would
Thank
like-
you, Director Deere.
I would like to move item 7F to the end of the action calendar.
Okay, we direct Vice President Deere, we will consider all the consent items except item F, and it will be considered at the end of the action item calendar. So is
That's
there a
fine.
motion for the rest of the items, please,
I don't second that. If you had a second for his
to
motion.
move it?
Yeah.
We have to have a second to move it.
Director Deere, he said he was fine with that, so consider that an amended motion, yeah.
Director Deere is fine, so there's a second, Director
Yep.
Alvarez. Okay, thank you. So let's vote on the rest of the consent calendar.
Director Tommy Fabai.
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez.
Yes, with the exception of items 7B and C. I'd like to be a no on that, on those.
7B and 7C. Director Scott Houston.
Yeah.
Director Don Deere.
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Item 8 is action calendar. Let's consider 8A.
Yes, Madam President, item 8A is adopt a resolution number 08251226, administrative code revisions, amending Part 7, records management. Madam President, this item was presented before the Finance and Administration Committee and was recommended for approval. We do have staff here available to answer any questions or provide the presentation, but I wanted to note the direction of the committee. So with that, the item begins on packet page 122, and staff is available for any questions or the presentation at your direction.
Is there any board member who would like to hear a presentation on 8A? Please speak up. No? Okay, then what's the recommendation?
The recommendation is that the board approve, adopt and authorize the president to sign resolution number 08251226, resolution of the Board of Directors of West Basin Municipal Water District, amending the West Basin Municipal Water District Administrative Code as it relates to the records management policy.
Move the recommendation.
Second.
There's a first and a second on the recommendation. No further questions or any questions? All right, can you please call the roll?
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. Thank you. Item 8B, please.
Yes, Madam President. Item 8B is to issue a purchase order to repair the Edward C. Little Water Recycling Facility Solids Handling Building Elevator. This item was presented on Friday at the Engineering Operations Committee and was recommended for approval by the E&O Committee. We do have Jeremiah Shea, our Operations Analyst, available to answer any questions or provide the presentation at the direction of the board.
I think when we had it in committee, Director Alvarez
We
and
move that.
myself were there, so questions.
I'll move the staff recommendation.
Then a second.
I'll second.
Any questions? All right, please call the roll.
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. All right, the motion passed. Item 8C, please read that item.
Yes, Madam President. Item 8C is the Edward C. Little Water Recycling Facility Perimeter Fence Improvements. This item was presented at the Engineering and Operations Committee on Friday and was recommended by the committee for approval. We do have Jeremiah Shea, our Operations Analyst, available to answer any questions or provide the presentation as directed by the board.
I know this was in the engineering committee, and I think Director Alvarez. did you have a
I do
question?
have a question of clarification. I don't think we're gonna need a presentation, but we discussed this a little bit more in the committee. And part of it was trying to get a handle on the actual cost. And I think that where we ended up, and I just want confirmation, is that when we go out to bid, we will, because we wanted uniformity, so we will bid two alternatives. One is the security fencing, which was more expensive than just replacing it with the 8-foot block fencing, if I can call it that. And then when it comes back, the board should make a decision as to which of those two alternatives to bid, to award. That the understanding?
That's correct, Director. We will bring you back two options from the bids, one with that additional security on top and one without.
All right, with that, I'll move the,
Yeah, those were the two issues. I thank you, Director Alvarez, clarifying that. So you moved it?
Mhm.
Okay. Second, please call the roll.
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
yes,
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
and President Gloria Gray.
Yes. Item 8D, please.
Yes, Madam President. Item 8D is to amend agreement W2301 with CalTool for carbon dioxide system rental invoices. Madam President, this item was presented at the Engineering and Operations Committee, and the committee did recommend approval. However, the committee did recommend that we contact CalTool and enter into negotiations to lower the requested rental amount. You may recall in the committee memo, I believe the dollar amount was $44,000. At that time, we had negotiated with them down to $27,000. We reported that to the committee. It was asked by the committee that we go back and ask to split it 50-50, which would get us down to $22,000. Staff has contacted CalTool, and CalTool has agreed to lower the price down to $25,000. So below the 27 that we presented in committee, but not quite down to the 22,000 for the board or committee's direction. So staff is available to answer any questions that you might have, or again, provide a presentation.
Other clarification, or any other comment relative to what he to report?
I just have a
Shouldn't the
question.
Motion. May
Director.
I ask a question?
Sure, yes.
This is
Director
Don Deere.
Dare?
Yes. Shouldn't the motion today say 25,000?
Unfortunately, this memo item was posted prior to us getting that lowered price. And so we would amend the recommended motion down to the 25,000.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping it would be. Yeah, I go along with that.
Thank you, Vice President Deere. That's a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Director Alvarez
That's what I'm
does
here
have
for.
a question. Thank you.
Okay,
Director Alvarez.
a lot of the discussion on this item was that this was an invoice that was received way after the fact. It went back to something they should have invoiced from 2022. It went back that far. So at some point, we agreed that maybe there's some shared responsibility because we didn't ask for an invoice. And they did, but really the burden was more on their side to have invoiced us since they're the ones that were going to benefit from receiving payment for their services. And that's why the 50-50 split seemed the most reasonable. I still think we should, direct staff to go back and go for the 50-50 split.
All right, is there a motion, any further discussion, any comment on what Director Alvarez just said?
Let me ask a question. So you want them to go back and ask to bring it down a little more to what, 22? Is that?
Rather than 25?
Yeah, because really, they invoiced us this year, going all the way back to 2022. And so we could have just said, hey, wait a second, that invoice should have been invoiced a long time ago. We're not gonna pay it and get into that. I think, and rightfully so, we want to work with our vendors. They have provided the service, so they're entitled to some remuneration. But in terms of splitting the cost, it just seems like it's most reasonable to split it 50-50 and we both assume equal responsibility.
How about there's a way we, with this motion, say something to that effect, like we'd ask staff to go back to try to get to 50-50, but if they cannot, we authorize the 25? Something like that?
Director Newsom, may I recommend what I heard suggested? What we will do is we will simply offer them $22,000 to resolve this matter.
Like that?
My question is, you said you went back and talked to them, and so do you feel that they're open to doing more compensation?
I think they feel similar to what Director Alvarez feels. They've come down from the 44,000 now into 27. When we contacted them again, they went to 25. I wasn't a part of those conversations, but what
Well,
I was director.
Yes.
I will say CalTool implied that this was their best and final offer at $25,000 when we approached them on Friday.
so if we go back to them, there's no downside to that. Can they withdraw the 25? I mean, it sounds like best and final. I mean, negotiations are always open, but I'm trying to get the feel of the staff in terms of what that means. Can they, I mean, what is our leverage? Can we?
I think we could simply offer them the $22,000 to resolve this matter. They can always decline that.
Okay. And so is that the?
So then if we're talking about $3,000 here, but if,
Which,
I know it's principle. I know it's principle. Here's what I'm saying. How do we guarantee, this doesn't have to come back to the board? Because if you offer them that and they say no, we're wasting another month, or what do we do?
We could potentially be wasting another month, yes, but this has been waiting since 2022. I don't know that it would be that big of a hurry, but it's at the direction.
I'll go with Director Alvarez on this. Let's just try and get them to the 22, and then you guys got to come back to us if they won't. How about that?
Director, bye-bye. Did you want to comment on?
Do we offer our final to that 25?
That was their final offer.
We didn't counter with our final.
We had been in negotiations throughout last week, which initially brought them down to $27,000. After committee meeting, committee last Friday, we approached them one more time to see if they would lower it below that 27,000 to the 50-50 split, and they returned saying 25 was their lowest offer.
So 22 was offered, right? Is
We
that what-
requested 22. That's
Answer
correct.
your question. Yeah, it was offered. That's to answer your question, yeah.
And Madam President, I've just been informed that the 50/50 total is actually $22,295.
All right, so you'll go back, I don't know if we have a motion or not. If we don't, the general manager's recommendation would be my motion.
Okay, so can you repeat the language for that motion?
That direct the general manager to offer, and I want clarification, is it 22,000 or is it 50/50, which is 22,295?
50/50.
As
Consent
as
of
our final offer to resolve this matter.
That's what everybody.
Okay.
Split. Director Deere, any comment?
Nope.
Okay. Director Alvarez made a motion. Is there amended motion, right? So is there a second?
I'll second.
Can you call the roll, please?
Director Tommy Favai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yeah.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. All right, motion, amended motion passes. Item 8E, please.
Yes, Madam President, item 8E is to amend purchase order for July 2025 sodium hydroxide deliveries. This item was heard at Friday's Engineering and Operations Committee, and the committee did recommend approval of the item. We do have Eric Owens, our Assistant General Manager, available to answer any questions or provide the presentation at the direction of the board.
Any questions on this item before we consider a motion? Okay,
Move recommendation. The
moved by
staff
Director
recommendation.
Alvarez. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, no questions, then we will call the roll.
Director Tommy Favai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yeah.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. Item F, please.
Yes, Madam President. Item 8F is to approval of initial vendor list for operations and maintenance services for the recycled water treatment facilities. This item was heard at Friday's Engineering and Operations Committee, and the committee did recommend approval of item 8F. Eric Owens, our manager, is available for the presentation or to answer questions that you might have.
This item was on the engineering operations agenda. Are there any questions regarding this item before consideration?
I'll move the recommendation.
The recommendation been moved by Director Alvarez. There's a second.
Second.
Director Houston, second. No questions, then we will call the roll.
Director Tommy Favai. Director Desi Alvarez. Director Scott Houston. Director Don Deere.
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. Thank you. The motion passed. Item 8G.
Yes, Madam President. Item 8G is to amend a purchase order contingency amount for sludge handling welded steel tanks. This item was discussed on Friday at the Engineering Operations Committee under the monthly Engineering Operations update, though no presentation was provided at that time. We do have Veronica Govea, our engineering supervisor, here for the presentation. And this item does begin on packet page 236.
Let me ask the staff, board, you all want to hear the presentation? Does anyone?
But this was not presented.
Okay, it was never presented in committee at all.
So I
We
think
just
we,
discussed at a very high level as we
Okay,
were
should have-
getting information.
Veronica, you're on. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, directors. Again, it's on page 236 where this board item starts the presentation. And for this particular item, this is, as you guys are aware, we are in the process of doing our solid handling upgrades. And one of the components that are very important for the changes or for the construction is the procurement of very critical equipment that has long lead. So the sludge conditioning tanks are part of the solids handling process, and during the assessment to these tanks, the replacement was recommended, and they were noted as being part of the critical path. Therefore, that meant that we needed to have those tanks in order to have the rest of the construction going on. Due to the long lead to fabricate these tanks, we started the procurement process, and publicly we solicited estimates from contractors, for which ARNAS engineers contractors were awarded in August 2024. They were the lowest responsive bidder at the time, and they were under much more considerably amount of money from the other two bidders that submitted costs. The awarded amount was not to exceed $350,000, and this included taxes, shipping costs, and 10% contingency of $29,800. As a separate contract, Kiewit is the prime contractor for the solids handling construction project, and they are the ones that are going to be taking ownership at some point of these tanks once they arrive, and they're going to install them in the location where the previous tanks were located at. So Kiewit has started their process. They received their notice to proceed in July 2025. And as part of the proactive actions that they are taking, they have gone to the field and doing some assessment in regards to what is going to be received from the tanks, as well as their construction activities. So some of the items for the tanks were shown, or they were notified by Kiewit. There was like some local windows for the 4-inch and 8-inch piping, some adjustments to the cone of the flange piping that needed to be done, anchoring, changes to openings, hatches, and also changes on the tank roof structure. The district reviewed the changes, and we do agree that those changes are necessary in order to bring the tanks back to their operational activities. In order to cover these changes, West Basin is asking the board to authorize an increase in the contingency. The contingency that was awarded at the time was approximately $29,800, which was the 10%. We are still working with our NAS contractor to estimate what the cost change is going to be. And for the same reason, West Basin is just asking for an increase in the contingency to be able to work with our NAS contractor in addressing those changes. So with this, I will read the recommendation. So the recommendation is that the board authorize the general manager to increase the contingency amount associated with the procurement of 2 sludge handling welded steel tanks for NAS Engineering Contractors Incorporated from 10%, which is $29,800, to 27%, to become $80,460 for a new total not to exceed amount of $408,460, including taxes and shipping costs. With this, I will answer questions.
Thank you, Veronica. Any questions?
I have a question. So we pre-ordered this equipment based on the design. And you explained roughly what some of the discrepancies are and why it's going to cost more money. What was the flaws in the design?
So can you?
What is the major change in the design and how did it happen?
Yeah, so there are some changes, for example, to the catwalk, the landing, which has to do with the height of the tank and where it's going to be, where the landing is going to be located at. So there's obviously that height difference that needs to be adjusted. So that's the catwalk landing, as well as like some of the brackets that need to be incorporated into that tank. Other ones have to do with the knockout windows for the 4-inch and the 8-inch existing piping, the field. There's also at the bottom of the tank, the cone, and how it's being anchored into the floor, what needs to be changed. And on the top, again, some changes to the structure, as well as like the opening, as well as the orientation of the angles for where the openings go.
Okay, so it sounds like some of those changes are due because basically a issue with the design that hadn't been properly designed in terms of the height of the tank. We wouldn't be where we are today. And they were found during the review process by the contractor who said, well, wait a second, if you deliver this, we won't be able to install it per plan. So at that point, have you guys gone back and talked to the design engineers about that they should maybe participate in some of this additional cost?
So, yes, the designer, Arcadis is fully aware of what's happening right now. They have been already at the field. They have also, take measurements. They do recognize that there are some changes that do need to happen in this. However, right now, we're still assessing what the changes are.
Director, if I may add,
Yeah.
we really are dealing with two separate issues here today. Of course, we have a manufacturer that's right in the middle of building these tanks, and we have these design changes that we're asking the board to respond to fairly quickly. However, there is more work to be done to really understand how much of these changes are a result of the Arcadis design and could have been done better. And of course, a cost share with that. So I don't want to commit anything today on that second part or suggest that we've already begun that discussion, because I think we still have more information coming in order for us to inform that discussion. But rest assured, we will be having a discussion with Arcadis about their part in some of these changes that are necessary for the tank.
I appreciate that. That's all I wanted to bring up to the surface was we are now faced with having to move forward with the tanks. We have a contractor who's expecting those things, et cetera. But we do have a separate issue. Somebody outside of us is partially responsible for the changes in the, the additional costs.
And if I may take an opportunity to really give Kiewit kudos for catching this at such an early phase, because had those tanks been completed in their manufacturing and delivered to site, the district would probably be looking at a significantly higher cost.
Not more than $87,000. I remember. So I agree. I'm gonna move the staff recommendation, but I do want to make sure that Eric's comments are not forgotten and that we will revisit recovering some of the additional expense that we're incurring. And I also want to admonish that sometimes we order equipment but have it done as part of the contract. And then we would be responsible for the equipment. With that, what was on the table?
The second on the motion, that will go with further questions, if any. Second on the motion, you second.
Got a question to his motion.
Yeah. All right, you want to second it, and then we can speak to his motion.
Okay.
Right, Director Fabai.
So are we, I have a question to his motion, to Desi's motion. Is he adding all those other things to the, to this contingency contract? On keep,
Well,
because you mentioned a couple of things,
Yeah.
Desi, and I wanted to make sure that
yeah,
that doesn't interfere with what the
My
recommendation.
motion is just a recommendation.
Yeah, that's
And then
just-
the other are just comments for the staff to take.
Okay.
back.
those
okay,
are
I just wanna-
comments.
I just wanna make sure.
We're only dealing with the motion, not.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay,
And you can make comments if you want to make comments to the staff about it, but the recommendation, what we're looking at is
Got it.
what recommended the motion.
I just wanted to be clear on that.
Okay.
I second his.
Well, you already seconded, but, but your comments, any
I do
comments
not.
about, do you want to add to it? No? Director Houston, you're good? Desi? Director Deere, any comments? Vice
No,
President Deere?
no. No,
All
thank
right, we
you.
have a first and a second on the motion. Please call the roll.
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes,
Director Scott Houston, Director Don Deere,
Yes,
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. I believe we're on H. Are we on H?
That's correct.
Okay, H.
Madam President, item 8H is to approve a sponsorship of fiscal year 25-26 community outreach events. This item was not run through our typical Finance and Administrative Committee. So we do have Hazel Vasquez, our Deputy Board Secretary, for the presentation. And this item begins on packet page 20 or 239.
Thank you, President Gray, members of the board. As EJ mentioned, this item begins on packet page 239. I have one item for your consideration today. The Palos Verdes Peninsula Chamber of Commerce is hosting its annual legislative forum and luncheon on Friday, September 26th. At this time, Director Favai is recommending that the board approve sponsorship of the annual legislative forum and luncheon for $1,000. If approved, this sponsorship would grant West Basin an advertisement in the form of logo placement on event materials. And I'd like to note that West Basin has not previously sponsored this event, at least not in recent years. The documents submitted by the organizers for this sponsorship request are included in attachment A, and you can find that beginning on packet page 241. As always, to just keep everyone abreast of the budget for this program, approving sponsorship of this event in the amount requested would leave a remaining balance of $45,550. And you can see the details in attachment B, and that begins on packet page 245. With that, I will read the recommendation. Director Favai recommends that the board approve sponsorship of the Palos Verdes Peninsula Chamber of Commerce annual legislative forum and luncheon on Friday, September 26, 2025, in the amount of $1,000. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions, Mesa, at this point?
I'll move the item.
All right, is there a second on it? I'll second. Okay, any questions? I did see the backup, and I think for the speakers, is it Congressman Lou? You wanted speakers, I believe. I think it's a good program. I'd like to. Do we get tickets to go to that, or what is the sponsorship give us?
So with the $1,000 sponsorship, we would get 2 tickets to the luncheon, and we also get advertisement in the form of logo placement on event materials, which include their digital flyers, email blasts. The logo will be hyperlinked on the event page, and that would guide them back to our website, and our logo would also appear on the event program. And then there will be recognition at the event itself.
Yeah, well, these are legislators in our area, so. Any further questions about things? Director Deere, any questions? All right, we have a motion and second, please call the roll.
Director Tommy Favai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
I think it will be a very interesting program, but I will be voting no.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
The motion passed. I don't. Recommendation passed. Aye.
Yes, Madam President. Item 8I is the approval of publicly available pay schedules in accordance with California Public Employee Retirement System statutory and regulatory requirements. This item did not go through the typical Finance and Administrative Committee. We do have Elisa Mecenas Fidelio, our Manager of Human Resources, available here for the presentation. And this item does begin on packet page 246.
Thank you, EJ. Good afternoon, Madam President and the Board of Directors. I am here to present Agenda 8I. So West Basin must comply with the California Public Employees Retirement System regulations, which require maintaining a publicly available pay schedule to ensure transparency and consistency in public employee compensation. The amended salary schedule will be implemented for fiscal year 25-26, which must be posted on our district's website for the public to review. In the prior year, the last time we updated this was in 2023, per the suggestion of our previous consultant, Ralph Anderson, just to stay competitive within the water industry. So the salary schedule for fiscal year 24-25 has been updated to reflect the 24 CPI for the region. We used a 3.5% increase for the salary grades based on a survey of similar water agencies and their average cost of living adjustment. Within our schedule, we have added titles/positions for the manager of information technology, accounting supervisor, and contracts administrator supervisor. And then we also made an adjustment to a salary range for our chief financial officer to adjust that particular schedule to better reflect the appropriate compensation for the classification. So with this said, I would like to, or recommend that the board approve the amended West Basin Municipal Water District salary schedule for fiscal year 25-26. If there's any questions, I'm more than happy to respond. Thank you.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
So move, Chair.
Moved by Director Provide and seconded by Director Alvarez. No further questions, please call the roll.
Director Tommy Favai. Yes. Director Desi Alvarez.
Yes,
Director Scott Houston.
Yes.
Director Don Deere.
Yes,
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. Okay, we will go back to the consent item that was full. We've completed the action calendar as stated in the agenda, but 7F was full for consideration, so we will now address 7F. Could you please read that item?
Yes, Madam President. Item 7F is adopt a support position on Delta Conveyance Project Streamline. This item was presented before West Basin's Water Policy and Legislative Committee with a recommendation of approval at committee. This is, we do have Augustine Hahn, our Water Policy and Resources Development Analyst, available for the presentation. And it does begin on packet page 77.
Thank you, EJ. Chairwoman Gray, Board of Directors. To direct your attention to page 101 of the packet where the slides begin.
Can I just say this? I know that we've heard the presentation in our committee, so can you just hit the highlight? I know Director Alvarez pulled it, so he does have questions, but just do the highlight. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, in the spirit of Chairwoman's comments, I'll direct your attention to page 103. So just in summary, staff is recommending the board take a support position on Delta Conveyance Project Streamlining. This is a legislative effort that was initially introduced along with the May revision to the state budget. The proposal seeks to streamline pre-construction planning and design activities for the DCP. Although this proposal was ultimately not included in the budget deal, opponents are continuing to push for this legislative effort, leaving discussions for after the summer recess, and legislature returned a week ago on the 18th to discuss. In the interest of time, I will move ahead to page 113. And so we'll just cover how the DCP benefits West Basin. West Basin has been a longstanding leader in partnering to invest over $850 million in producing recycled water and nearly $10 million in water use efficiency and conservation to help reduce demands on imported supplies, such as those from the State Water Project. However, imported water supplies from the State Water Project remain a critical component of West Basin's water supply portfolio. In addition, this proposal reflects the board adopted priorities that is intended to gather and this effort is intended to gather and present key information required to make future funding decisions around DCP. This would provide the opportunity to evaluate the project on its merits based on clear data regarding potential benefits, costs, operational requirements, and environmental obligations. We can move to the next slide to the staff recommended position or staff recommendation that the board consider adopting a position, a support position on DCP streamline.
Director Alvarez, I know you have questions.
I do have some questions / comments that I think we ought to address. This project in one form or another has been around since 1980. And so it has a very long history. The latest generation of this is a tunnel along the easterly side of the delta, which is very reminiscent in terms of the alignment of the original peripheral canal that was being considered back in 1980 and 82, when that project was brought to an end because there wasn't statewide support for it. One of the items that is discussed in the staff report and in the presentation in one of the earlier slides is the issue of the benefit cost analysis that was done. And the benefit cost analysis shows that it is a positive investment. However, when you do look at that benefit cost analysis, it is predicated on the fact that we're going to have continued growth and demand for water in Southern California through 2045. And if you look at the growth projections for the state of California between now and 2045, and I'm talking, I shouldn't say the state, it applies to the state, but I'm talking primarily to the 6 counties that are served by metropolitan, which would be one of the major investor in continuing to fund the studies. The net population change in between now and 2045 is actually negative. The 6 county population will go down. There are a couple of counties that are small counties, Riverside and San Bernardino, that will see net increases in population. But in general, the overall population of the 6 county region that's served is going to decrease from 21,600,000 approximate estimated population in 2025 to 21,562,000. So that growth is relatively flat. The other issue then is the issue of the water demand. And one of the key assumptions made in the benefit cost analysis is that the water demand is going to be significantly increasing in Southern California. And it's stated in there that's predicated on scenario D in the metropolitan's IRP projects and Camp for Water. Scenario D is a very high demand scenario where it assumes that you're going to have continued growth in population growth in this region at a significantly higher rate than what we're seeing, which is basically flat or negative, or slightly negative growth during that period of time. And based on that, it assumes that we're going to need 650,000 acre feet of water. When you look at where we are today, water demands in the metropolitan service area are actually down and continue to go down. And if we continue to emphasize conservation, as we have made a promise to do, most likely that demand will, if not go down, will stay flat. So a lot of the assumptions that benefit cost analysis is predicated on are need updating, to put it kindly, or are not honest assumptions. And when the benefit cost analysis was done, and it was published in March of 24, it's about a little over a year old now, it was known that a lot of that information was based on old numbers. That scenario D was developed back in 2019 and should have been and still needs to be updated to reflect real current conditions. So we are moving forward with a project that is based on some false premises. And we continue to invest a lot of money. Metropolitan to date has invested $600 million in these studies. Whether the project gets built or not, that money is a sunk cost. We're never going to see it come back. So the continued moving forward of this project is, in my opinion, not necessarily a wise investment because it's not necessarily something we'll need. A couple of other issues that should be foremost in people's mind is that this project will deliver water in gulps. It will be on a consistent basis, and that's why the project's being built. And if the water comes in gulps, where are we going to put it? If it's in years like today, all of our storage facilities are full. So an additional cost would be what would be the additional cost for storage? And there's a couple of potential sources. One is groundwater basins, the other is build new surface storage, which begs the question, surface storage, where are you gonna build it? How much are you gonna spend? That should be an additional cost for the project. And if you're gonna be doing groundwater basins, are we being honest? Because we have storage in groundwater basins today that we're not able to use because in order to use it, we're gonna have to build treatment facilities. And those costs haven't been anticipated. And when I say we, this is Metropolitan Water District storage. So a lot of the water that is in storage is not readily usable. The other item that I think needs to be considered is in terms of what is the real price of this. We've talked about other costs that were not anticipated and the overestimation of the benefits. But as the cost of this project today is estimated at $20 billion. We recently saw a revision in the Sites Reservoir cost estimate, a large project that is coming up for decision making that went from a 2020 a cost estimate of $3.93 billion to a 2024 cost estimate of $7.47 billion. That's an increase of $3.5 billion plus or minus, significant increase. So if we were honest today about the cost for Delta conveyance, those numbers need to be upgraded. And looking at the additional cost, would that benefit cost analysis still come in as a positive investment that's worthwhile pursuing? I would like to see all of that considered before we continue to put money into this project. I'm not quite sure that it's needed project, given that we have been able to move from 1982 when the project was effectively killed, and at that time it was the peripheral canal, did the same thing as this project would do to today. And in 1982, the population of the state of California was 24.4 million people. The population of the state of California today is 39.5 million people. That's a growth of about 66% in the population. Without the peripheral canal, we've managed that growth. There's been plenty of water, and we have surplus water today. We have basically all our storage capacity committed. We are facing some real challenges. We are probably going to be losing some water from the Colorado River when that Colorado River agreements have to be renegotiated next year. And we would maybe losing water from the state water project due to climate change. But where do we want to have a reliable water supply, and have we looked at all of our alternatives? And when we look at all of our alternatives, do we have better alternatives to invest our money in that may be cheaper and that may be more reliable in the long term for the benefit of Southern California? So I would, I don't think that this is a worthwhile investment. But I just wanted to explain why my opinion is what it is.
Thank you, Director Alvarez, for those comments. I know Metropolitan has not made a final decision on what's before the board today. It supports the streamlining efforts to make sure that option is still there. So is there any other comments? If not, we'll take a motion. Is there a motion to support this recommendation?
Motion to support the
Is
recommendation.
there a second on it? A second. I consider it.
I second.
Any further comments? All right. Call the roll, please.
Director Tommy Favai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
No.
Director Scott Houston. Yes. Director Don Deere,
Yes.
and President Gloria Gray.
Yes. Okay, we're at the end of the action calendar. Let's see, where are we? Information calendar. Then item 10, receive and file. Is there a motion to receive these items?
I mean,
So move.
There's a second on it. Director Deere seconded. Please call the roll.
Director Tommy Favai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
yes,
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. All right, item 11, general manager's report.
Madam President, I have presented the general manager's report. You should have a hard copy in front of you at this time. We've also emailed that to the entire board as well. I would also just note, just last week, I had the opportunity to attend the Urban Water Institute convention. And I did participate in my very first board of directors meeting. It was a great opportunity. They did have an opportunity to change out their executive director. And I look forward to working with the team there in the future. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions about the report. And we can do that now or offline.
Well, congratulations for being a board member for Urban Water Institute. Any questions of the board members to our general manager on his report? Okay, hearing none, we'll go to the next item. That would be general counsel's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I have nothing for item 12. I will, though, obviously, we'll go into closed session.
Yeah, thank you. Number 8, monthly engineering operations report. Who does that? Am I looking at the right thing? No. Oh, no, no, I'm sorry. AB 123 for reporting compliance, item 13, sorry. Any reporting? Okay, before we go into closed session, we do have something special with Desiree. It's been the tradition of the board and this agency for a while to recognize our board members. I know that staff is always, EJ, I'm sure recognizes staff for their birthday, which is really a great idea. And so we've been remiss in recognizing some of our board members, but we're going to start. And those who had birthdays this year, I know this year is almost over, but I know Director Deere was the only one in February, and we were going to acknowledge you today, but you're not here, Director Deere, so we have to wait until you come into the office. Can you hear me, Vice President Deere?
Yes, I can.
And,
Thank you.
All right, and we haven't missed any more this year, right? Desiree? Okay, others are coming up. So this month, we have one of our directors who has a birthday. I don't remember when, but Desiree will tell us, or he will. Yesterday, so we're almost right on target with it. And that's Director Houston. So Director Houston, we're here to sing happy birthday to you. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Houston. Happy birthday to you. People, okay?
I forgive you.
Thank you. You want to come in?
Oh, sure. Thank you. Boy, I did not expect that at all.
I should have.
Oh, yeah, light the candle.
You all totally surprised and embarrassed me. So thank you very much.
Go get your cake.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll,
We have a candle for him or? Well, bring it over to him. He can pretend to blow it out.
oh, there you go. Jeez.
EJ, somebody can take a picture.
Is it chocolate?
My messy mess.
And a red velvet.
Oh, geez. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
And a card. Don't read out loud what people put on that card.
I know, right? EJ, I have no idea if this stuff looks good in that picture for you. I don't know. But how about this?
Flag. 1, 2, and 3. I'll do one more. 1, 2. Do you want to get the director?
Yeah, come on, you guys. Come on, at the end. So we'll insert you in the pictures. They know how to do that.
Okay.
EJ, y'all embarrassed me.
1, 2,
And 3.
1, 2, 3. Awesome.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Okay, now we will go into closed session. You can take your cake off.
Oh, yeah.
You want red velvet or vanilla? What do
I'll
you
have some vanilla.
I'll just sit
You
down.
all are welcome to have some.
Closed session for the 5 items that are stated on the agenda.
5 items? Okay.
This is Don. I'm on the line. Am I on the line? Is somebody listening to me? Hello?
Director Deere, you're on the regular board meeting. Desiree's going to give you a call to get you back into closed session.
Okay. Okay, I'm here. Hello, I'm here.
Zero.
Hi, Director Deere. We'll be resuming the meeting here in just a few minutes.
Okay, I'm here. Thank you.
You need to get us out of here before.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Pressure.
We're back in open session. Mr. General Manager, our General Counsel.
I'd say there's no action taken in closed session that is reportable pursuant to Brown Act.
All right. We completed closed session number 15, director's comments. Any comments? Director Provide,
No, no comments.
Director Houston,
No comment. Thank you.
Director Alvarez,
No comment.
Director Deere.
No comment.
My comment, thank you to staff and everyone here and to the board members. We had a very productive meeting. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
That was good.